And we are following some breaking news right here on Live Now from Fox. Just learning from President Donald Trump via Truth Social that the U.S. has struck another ship there right off of the Venezuelan coast. We've seen several of these happening over the past several weeks, and now we have learned really just moments ago here that another ship has been struck. First, I do want to take you out to this post right here coming in from the Associated Press.
The date was October 1st, 2025. At 4:17 a.m., 45 miles north of Venezuela's coast, what began as a routine drug interdiction instantly collapsed into the most intense naval firefight in the Caribbean since the height of the Cold War. The USS Porter and 3 U.S. Coast Guard cutters found themselves targeted by armed Venezuelan military vessels, patrol boats, corvettes, and fast attack craft that were actively protecting a narco convoy. In seconds, bullets tore through the darkness, missiles were locked on, and the line between law enforcement and full-scale warfare vanished. The conflict was the result of a deliberate escalation. 72 hours earlier, DEA intelligence identified a massive, high-value target, a convoy of 6 cargo vessels hauling 23,000 kilograms of cocaine, worth an astonishing $4.2 billion on the street. The critical complication was the escort. 8 Venezuelan military patrol boats, armed with 30mm cannons and Chinese-made C-704 anti-ship missiles. The cartels had purchased state protection, weaponizing a nation's naval force. U.S. Southern Command faced an impossible decision: risk an international incident or allow billions in poison to reach American streets. Washington's answer was delivered within 6 hours: intercept, seize, and defend the forces if necessary. The USS Porter, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, steamed south. She was 9,200 tons of precision firepower, equipped with the AEGS combat system, 90 vertical launch cells, and her 5-inch Mk-45 gun built to fight carrier battle groups, but now tasked with facing drug runners and corrupt state military forces. She was joined by 3 Coast Guard cutters, the USCG Sea James, Stone, and Midgetich, equipped with 57mm Bofors guns and boarding teams trained for hostile environments. Their plan was textbook law enforcement: close the distance, illuminate, order compliance, and seize. Arrayed against them were 8 Guari-class fast attack craft, 36 meters long and capable of 25 knots, each ready to deploy 30mm cannon fire. Their commander was convinced of his immunity. He was in international waters, escorting what appeared to be commercial vessels, ready to threaten diplomatic fallout and maritime law. What he didn't know was that Porter's AN/SPY-1D radar had been silently tracking his every move for 6 hours, intercepting and translating every radio transmission. The Americans knew exactly what they were facing and had planned the response accordingly. At 3:42 a.m., the Coast Guard cutters broke from their holding position, accelerating to 20 knots on an intercept course. The James took the lead, her 6 million candle-power searchlights blazing to life, bathing the lead cargo vessel in white light. Loudspeakers boomed the demand in Spanish: United States Coast Guard, heave to and prepare for boarding. Cut your engines immediately. The response was immediate and hostile. The cargo vessel turned hard to run, belching black smoke. The 8 Venezuelan patrol boats converged instantly, forming a tight screen between the cutters and the fleeing convoy. Gun mounts traversed, fire control radars went active, and the air crackled with hostility. The Coast Guard issued a final warning across all frequencies: stand down. We are conducting lawful maritime interdiction. Do not interfere. The response came in Russian-designed 30mm cannon fire. At precisely 4:17 a.m., the lead Venezuelan patrol boat opened fire. Tracer rounds arced across 800 yards of dark water, striking 50 feet off the James's BOA definitive warning shot and an act of war. 3 seconds later, the Venezuelan second burst was not a warning. 23 30mm shells ripped across James's superstructure. Metal tore, electronics shattered, and 2 sailors went down with shrapnel wounds. The patrol boat had crossed every line. The James's 57mm Bofors gun roared to life. A 3-round burst struck the patrol boat's forward gun mount and bridge. The vessel erupted in flames, listed to port, and fell silent. But 7 other patrol boats were in play, and they all opened fire simultaneously, an orchestrated ambush. Shells converged on the 3 Coast Guard cutters from a 180-degree arc. The Stone took hits along her port side, and Midget's flight deck was raked with fire, narrowly missing the fuel lines of her helicopter. The USS Porter, holding 8,000 yards away, had been waiting. The moment James took fire, the rules of engagement were satisfied. The captain had the authority and the overwhelming force to engage. The Aegis system had already calculated firing solutions for every remaining Venezuelan vessel. The captain ordered an immediate, decisive demonstration of power. 2 RGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. At 4:18 a.m., 2 solid rocket boosters ignited. The missiles roared into the darkness, climbing to 300 feet, their active radar seekers acquiring targets 12 miles away. The Venezuelan patrol boats never saw them coming. The first harpoon struck the second patrol boat amidships at 537 miles per hour. The 488-pound warhead detonated, and the boat disintegrated, vanishing in a fireball that climbed 200 feet. The second harpoon struck the next patrol boat below the waterline, breaking its keel. The vessel folded in the middle and sank within 40 seconds. 5 Venezuelan patrol boats remained. Their commanders watched 2 vessels vaporized by weapons they couldn't defend against, launched from a destroyer 8 miles away. 3 boats immediately cut their engines, transmitting surrender and raising white flags choosing life over ideology. But 2 boats refused, breaking formation toward the fleeing cargo convoy. Porter's fire control tracked them instantly. The Mk-45 5-inch gun elevated and roared, launching high-explosive shells at 20 rounds per minute. The second salvo struck the lead-running patrol boat, exploding its superstructure and killing its engines. It coasted to a stop, disabled. The final patrol boat attempted one desperate move. It launched its C-704 anti-ship missile at the destroyer. The incoming missile was instantly tracked by Porter's AN/SPY-1D radar. The last line of defense? The Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, CIWS, activated. 6 rotating barrels unleashed 4,500 rounds per minute of 20mm tungsten penetrator rounds. The incoming missile flew into a wall of metal and disintegrated 800 yards from Porter's hull. The patrol boat that attempted to kill an American warship had eliminated its surrender option. Porter's Mk-45 gun spoke twice more. Both shells hit within 0.3 seconds, detonating the patrol boat's magazine. The blast was visible for 15 miles. Nothing remained but burning oil on the water. By 4:24 a.m., the engagement was over 7 minutes from the first shot to the final kill. 8 Venezuelan patrol boats were neutralized. Coast Guard helicopters launched, catching the scattered, unprotected cargo vessels one by one. 23,400 kilograms of cocaine were seized and 87 crew members were arrested. The 3 surrendered patrol boats yielded critical intelligence logbooks, orders, and undeniable evidence of state-sponsored narco-terrorism. The diplomatic fallout was immediate, but the U.S. released radar tracks, radio intercepts, and gun camera footage proving Venezuela had fired first and protected drug traffickers. The aftermath reshaped Caribbean security dynamics. Other nations realized that escorting drug convoys with military forces was no longer viable. Porter's captain became a case study. His measured escalation, his proportional response, and his decisive action resulted in a victory that was militarily devastating, yet legally defensible. The 7 minutes that changed everything delivered an eternal message. American naval forces maintain order and will eliminate any threat that challenges their mission. The drug war had turned hot, and America's Navy proved its dominance was absolute.